Six Flags Great Adventure is one of the stars of the Six Flags chain. Located in central New Jersey, it serves the New York and Philadelphia areas, so they've gotten some nice investments over the years. This park has more defunct coasters than operating coasters, but we're only focusing on the coasters at the park today. In this video, we're setting our opinions aside. Let's look at these coasters with an objective eye and rank them up by their prime ride time. These are the coasters of Great Adventure, by the numbers. For those of you new to the series, prime ride time starts when the train picks up speed off the lift, or when the launch starts, all the way until it hits the final brakes. The lift hill, station, and final brakes are taken out of the ride time and the total length, so the number you see here won't match RCDB. We'll start with the coaster that has the least amount of prime ride time, and work our way to the top. In 14th place with 13 seconds is Lil Devil. I know, this isn't even open yet, but this is the same old kiddie coaster they've always had, just relocated, repainted, and renamed. It used to be called Road Runner Railway, and it opened in 1999. Your typical Zamperla gravity coaster. No shock, this thing is dead last and drops speed and length, but it's not quite the worst when it comes to pacing, ranking 13th. We'll talk about the one coaster that manages to cover less track per second than this little kid's coaster a little bit later, but you can start speculating now. In 13th place with 24 seconds is King Dakota, the Intamin Accelerator. If you saw my Cedar Point video, this shouldn't be a surprise. These Stratocoasters may be a big rush, but they're over quick. King Dakota is the tallest coaster in the world, so it obviously ranks first in the park with its 418-foot drop, 128-mile-per-hour top speed, and it's all the way up in 5th in length. It's a slam dunk winner in pacing, covering 103 feet per second, and that's 34 more feet per second than the second place coaster. Its only slowdown is when it comes over that top hat, and that's a great thing because you have a second to take in your surroundings from 456 feet in the air. In 12th place with 27 seconds is Joker, the SNS Free Spin. After the 120-foot vertical lift, these slowly wind their way down about 700 feet of track, ranking 13th, and surprisingly is listed with a 54-foot drop, which is 9th. And it's also 9th in speed, maxing out at 38 miles per hour. Because it doesn't have a big drop to get the ride going, it's down in 12th place in pacing also. This coaster is all about unpredictability and disorientation, so its stats aren't important. It could probably afford to be longer, but I'm sure most people have had enough after 27 seconds before they puke or pass out. In 11th place with 35 seconds is Batman the Ride, the B&M invert. Just like all the big Six Flags parks, Great Adventure has a bat clone. This lands in the middle of most of the list, 7th in drop in length, and 8th in speed. But it should be no surprise to anyone that this ranks 4th in pacing, clearing over 64 feet per second. These Batman inverts are all about small and intense elements, so despite being close to 30 years old, it still holds up over time as a great thrill ride. In 10th place with 36 seconds is Harley Quinn Crazy Train, a Zero Tivoli. This is meant to be a family coaster, so it's gonna run a bit slow, especially with those long 20-car, 40-passenger trains winding around its figure 8 layout. Usually, the longer the train, the slower it's gonna be. It's only 26 feet tall, and it barely cracks 22 miles per hour, 13th in both. And it has almost 1,000 feet of track and covers about 27 feet per second, both good for 11th place. In 9th place with 37 seconds is Skull Mountain, the Intamin Indoor Coaster. Great Adventure has a nice variety of family coasters, and here's another one, and not even the last one that's indoors. It's 11th in drop in speed, 10th in length with over 1,200 feet of track, as well as 10th in pacing. Like I said, it's a family coaster, and it relies on the dark indoor setting to add the extra thrill factor. Also, ride it in the back for some nice whip over the first drop. It's the ride's one redeeming factor for thrill seekers. In 8th place with 42 seconds is Superman Ultimate Flight, the B&M Flyer. It seems to live right in the middle of all the rankings. 6th in speed, 7th in pacing, 8th in drop, 9th in length. Like Joker, this thrives off the maneuvers once it's in motion. You're not going to get big drops or blazing speed because this ride is all about simulating flight, and it winds around its footprint doing exactly that. In 7th place with 49 seconds is El Toro, the Intamin prefabricated wooden coaster. 15 years later, and El Toro is still the star of the park, but it doesn't even come close to cracking the 1-minute mark. This also has the shortest ride time of the 4 Intamin prefabs that were built, but it was by far the most extreme. El Toro rips your face off, ranking 2nd in pacing at over 69 feet per second, and it comes in 3rd place in drop, speed, and length. Given its speed and intensity, maybe it could have had a little more track, but I think that we're lucky to get what we got. This was built around Rolling Thunder, and there wasn't a lot of space. El Toro is an ultra-elite coaster, but it does have a shorter ride time. In 6th place with 50 seconds is Runaway Mine Train, the Aero Mine Train. I was surprised to see this only had one lift hill. That's pretty unusual for an old Aero Mine Train, and it does take its time getting through that course. It doesn't have the worst pacing compared to the other rides in the park, ranking 9th. Also 9th in speed at 38 miles per hour, 10th in drop with 39 feet. and 8th in length, with just over 2,000 feet of track. It's a park original, and it's still going strong, finishing with that iconic swoop over the water with the Intamin monster standing right behind it. In 5th place with 54 seconds is Jersey Devil Coaster, the RMC Raptor. This is the next level of RMC Raptor, 24 seconds longer than the prototypes, and with 1,200 more feet of track. So it sports 67% more track, but 80% more ride time. It doesn't run nearly as fast as the originals, and you can feel it. Ranking just 8th in pacing, and coming in just behind Superman, and not that far ahead of Runaway Mine Train. It's also 6th in drop speed and length. It's solid in all these categories, but the elements are big and drawn out, and they don't pop like the other RMCs, and you can really see that with the pacing stat. In 4th place with 57 seconds is Green Lantern, the B&M stand-up. Sometimes I talk about rides that make sense, and Green Lantern is one of them. It's 4th in ride time, along with drop speed and length, and it's 5th in pacing. It's a full-size stand-up coaster with that 144-foot drop, and you don't see B&Ms this size get moved around that often. When Six Flags left Kentucky Kingdom for dead in 2010, they wanted to salvage Chain, and Great Adventure saw it as the perfect chance to replace their massive aero looper, Great American Scream Machine. People don't seem to like it that much, but I think Great Adventure got a really good coaster with Green Lantern. In 3rd place with 62 seconds is Bizarro, the B&M Flowless. This opened in 1999 as Medusa, and it was the very first flowless coaster that B&M ever rolled out. It starts out with a 132-foot drop, good for 5th. It hits a top speed of 61 miles per hour, also 5th, and goes through 7 inversions over 3,391 feet of track, all the way up in 2nd place. When you see a ride with good length, but it's lacking in other categories, that's not a good sign for its pacing, dropping down to 6th place, though it is still almost 10 feet per second better than Jersey Devil. In 2nd place with 64 seconds is Dark Knight, the Mock Ride's Wild Mouse. I haven't ridden this one since 2015, but I did ride the one at Great America, and it felt like that one was flying through its course. So I was surprised that this one stayed on its course for 64 seconds, and it only covered 14.9 feet per second, coming in last place, even slower than Little Devil. It's 10th in height, 11th in speed, and 12th in length, coming in under 1,000 feet of track. Now I feel like I have to ride this one again to see if it's running as fast as the one at Great America. That one really felt chaotic, and the stats on this one make it seem like it crawls through the course. In 1st place with 65 seconds is Nitro, the B&M Hyper. This is a real legit hyper. It's got a 230-foot height and a 215-foot drop, good for 2nd. Also 2nd in speed at 80 miles per hour, a full 10 miles per hour faster than El Toro. It can't compete with King Dakota in those stats, but then again, who can? It does top the list in length by over 1,000 feet, blowing away Bizarro with its 4,410 feet of prime ride track, and it's 3rd in pacing, only about 1 foot per second behind El Toro. Nitro gets a lot of hate, and I think it has something to do with having El Toro in the same park, but it's one of the better B&M hypers out there, and it offers the longest ride at Great Adventure. So that's it for the coasters of Great Adventure, by the numbers. Let me know if anything here surprised you, or confirmed something you thought you already knew. Dark Knight's pathetic pacing was the most surprising for me, and I had a feeling that Jersey Devil would suffer in pacing, and it seems like it does. Maybe the POV that I watched was filmed in the morning, when apparently it runs slow, and that's when I got my one ride also. I looked at a POV shot at night, and it was 2 seconds faster. Do those 2 seconds really make a huge difference in the ride experience? I don't know, but if you've ridden it in the morning and at night, sound off in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like. That's the best way to show your support for the channel. And if you're new here and love coasters, be sure to sub, and check out my Prime Ride Time playlist for more videos just like this one. That link will be down below, along with my Discord server, where you can chat with other fans of the channel, and my second channel, where I post copyright-free off-ride footage. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.